It seems to me that the changes that we're seeing in WWE have yet to hit NXT. I can confidently tell you guys tonight that this show sucks. Tonight was not a good night for NXT. I almost fell asleep on 3 different occasions tonight. There seems to be something missing from this show. I think we all know what it is. But we did get new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions in Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. Toxic Attraction seems to be a non-factor moving forward. We also got Carmelo Hayes and an open challenge. I was expecting maybe a pleasant surprise or something that would generate excitement. It did not. JD, the Irish JD, JD McDonagh against Bron Breakker. I'm just not feeling it, bro. I'm not feeling it. And Wagner, my boy Wagner, bro. In the main event tonight against Solo Sikoa. Falls count anywhere. Easily the best thing of the night. Feels like to me, Solo is on his way to the main roster. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to the venue. You know what? I'd rather not even be going to the venue, man. I'd rather be on my PlayStation 5, to be quite honest with you. But I'm here, and I'm going to the venue. We're going to talk NXT. We're going to talk the Monday Night Raw ratings. And apparently I'm a WWE cocksucker now. But I got my beverage. It's ice cold. And all I got to ask is one very important question. What the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your NXT post show for August 2nd, 2022. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Tuesday evenings, wherever you may be. NXT tonight, man, it was not that enjoyable of a show. Let's be honest, we haven't felt the change at NXT yet. I'm not really holding my breath on seeing that change, but I got to be upfront and honest with you, man. The show sucks. The show sucks. Tonight was not a good night for NXT. It was all bookended by a women's tag team fatal four-way match. The tag team titles are no longer vacant. They are in the hands of Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. And rightfully so. They are the only team that makes sense. You reward hard-working individuals. And that's exactly what NXT did tonight with Katana Chance and Kayden Carter. Happy to see them finally find some success after busting their ass for so long in NXT, going through the myriad of changes and being in the middle of all that, Triple H being removed, and in comes Vince and Bruce and Nick Khan and Johnny Laurinaitis to destroy everything that they once knew. And they stand upon the women's division as the new tag team champions. So that was a nice thing to see. Very happy for both of them. In the main event, we got Von Wagner. Our boy Von Wagner in the main event. Believe it or not, Von Wagner's growing on me. I think Von Wagner is looking very, very good out there. He's looking very good out there. Against Solo Sikoa, who everybody is really enjoying. I think Solo Sikoa, his time is going to be coming up very soon. I think Solo Sikoa is about due for the main roster. I wish I could say the same about Bron Breakker, because I don't really feel the same about Bron Breakker as I do a lot of the other talent on this show. I would actually call up Von Wagner, Solo Sikoa, Tony D'Angelo, and Carmelo Hayes over Bron Breakker. I don't really understand why WWE did what they did with him. He was so hot, and I honestly would have called him up months ago. He's cooled off so much that I don't even think a change of scenery is going to be right for Bron Breakker. It sucks. It really does suck. I'm not feeling the vibe from Bron Breakker anymore. It's not even his fault. It's not even his fault. He's legit. He's intense. He is getting better at what he does. I just don't feel that connection there from fan to sports entertainer anymore, or pro wrestler anymore. I did. And I honestly think WWE kind of ruined all of that by taking the title off of him and then putting it on Ziggler and then putting it back on Bron Breakker. I don't really, and the Joe Gacy thing didn't do anything to enhance Bron Breakker at all either. So I honestly feel like Bron Breakker is stuck in a rut, and I don't know how we get him out of it. But I do think Solo Sikoa is going to be on his way to the main roster. And I thought he and Von Wagner had a very good Falls Count Anywhere match tonight in the main event of NXT. And that was pretty much it. There really wasn't anything else. The only other important thing that happened on tonight's show was the return of my boy Santos Escobar. And I could see Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma getting called up to the main roster as well. There is really nothing for them to do down in NXT. And I think Santos Escobar has been more than ready for a main roster run. You put him on the main roster and you give him the creative of Triple H backing him, I think Santos Escobar would make a fine United States or Intercontinental champion. I really do. I think he's fantastic. But I think their time is coming up very, very soon as well. And he came back and showed up and ruined Tony D'Angelo from winning yet another championship on NXT tonight. And I can honestly say that was pretty much all that happened on this show this evening. There really wasn't much of anything on NXT tonight, and we have not really felt the changes that we are seeing on Monday night. We haven't felt anything on NXT for a little bit. You know, Triple H, this week was his first full-fledged week in leading creative on Monday Night Raw. We saw the changes last night on Monday night. We saw how different the show felt creatively. There was over 80 minutes or so of pro wrestling last night on a 3-hour Monday Night Raw. In the Vince McMahon administration, you'd be lucky to get 40. So Vince McMahon, you know, obviously you see the differences between Vince and Triple H. Triple H is definitely being a little bit more upfront with what he wants, and that is pro wrestling. And the crowds are going to have to be a little bit more conditioned on getting used to what Triple H is going to give you on a weekly basis, and that is more professional wrestling and a little bit scaling of the sports entertainment bullshit. We're going to scale that back. Not to say that it's going to go away, But we're going to get less of it, and we're going to get more pro wrestling. We're going to get more stories. So the fans, I'm going to need you fans to wake up. I'm going to need all the fans to wake up. This is not your fucking 77-year-old demented Vince McMahon writing the show anymore. This is somebody who's 20, 25 years younger than Vince McMahon writing the show. And it's going to be a little bit more story-driven, and it's going to be a little bit more adult-like, and it's going to be a little bit more upfront with the pro wrestling. And I honestly do think we need that back in NXT. That's what's missing from NXT. That's what's missing from NXT. I said this last week. The colors got to go. The fucking 2.0 thing, you want to do the 2.0 thing, fine. But man, get rid of the fucking colors, get rid of the shit music, and get rid of the goddamn fucking Monday Night Raw, old Monday Night Raw-esque booking of this show. There's not any stories on this show that I could firmly get invested in. There's nothing on this show that I could get invested in. Monday Night Raw for the first time, and I don't even know how long, last night. I'm saying to myself, after last night's show, shit, I can't wait for next week. When was the last time we said that about Monday Night Raw? That was an every week thing, watching the black and gold. I haven't said that once watching this 2.0 relaunch. We're almost a year in with this relaunch, and we're still feeling the same way. There's no excitement on this show. There's really nothing there outside of a Santos Escobar and a Solo Sikoa and a Carmelo Hayes and a Tony D'Angelo. Some of the women, maybe. There's really nothing here to sink your teeth into. There's nothing to get excited about. The stories suck. The writing on this show sucks. That's the fucking major problem. It sucks. I hope to God that some of this change that we're going to see, and we started to already see on the main roster, kind of bleeds its way down to Tuesday night. Because they fucking need it more than anybody. We're going to go over everything tonight, including the Monday Night Raw ratings. You're not going to believe the Monday Night Raw ratings, man. The highest the ratings have been on Monday Night Raw, coming out of last night's show, in over 2 years. That's what I call change. You love to see it. And the IWC is up in arms. Oh, JD's a Triple H dick rider. Papa H, he can't say anything negative about his Papa H. 3 weeks ago, I was a WWE hater. For the last 3 years, I've been a Tony Khan cocksucker and on the AEW payroll. Now I'm a Papa H cocksucker. Make up your fucking mind. Which one am I? Or am I getting paychecks from both sides now? Great! I'll go buy myself a beachside fucking mansion. Gotta swing the narrative back and forth. One day I'm this, the other day I'm that. Jesus fucking Christ. Make up your mind. 3 weeks ago, the show sucked. Last night, the show was good. What the fuck do you want? It's unbelievable. Follow me on social media. At JDfromNY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you for all the love on TikTok, man. We're at 5,000 followers already on TikTok. And yes, it is me. Yes, it is me. Fucking geeks out there. Is JD on TikTok? Is that really him? Of course it is. Who the fuck is it? And I'm on Cameo. Make sure you guys go hit me up on Cameo, man. I got a couple to do in the next 24 hours or so. Thank you for all the love on TikTok and Cameo. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. Normally, we ask for 1,000 minimum, being that NXT sucks. We're not going to get 1,000 minimum tonight, so the minimum tonight is 750. I need 750 likes minimum on tonight's NXT post show. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show if you guys care. Hit that join button as well, man. Become a VIP, become a channel member right here on Off the Script. We go VIP only chat on Sunday during the flagship podcast. So make sure you guys sit by the fire pits with the rest of the VIPs, man. It's a great look. It's a great look. We'll be using those fire pits a little bit more when the weather gets a little cooler in the next month and a half. Also, go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Everything you need is on the homepage, including last night's tremendous Monday Night Raw post show. 3,000 likes, over 40,000 views. You guys killed it last night. We're already on our way to 136,000 subscribers, man. Thank you guys very much. And go get your t-shirts, still available and only available on bonfire.com. You guys can go check that out. Everything you need is on the channel. Merchandise is available on bonfire.com. Couple of things I want to get into, man. Number one, I did watch AEW Dark today. I did manage to watch AEW Dark. And I watched Dark tonight, not because I wanted to, not because I do it on a weekly basis. I really don't watch Dark. I find it to be a waste of time. But I watched Dark tonight to watch my guy, Parker Boudreaux, who was NXT not too long ago. He was released in April, I believe, and they let him go, and he was on Dark Elevation tonight, and he had a one-on-one match, his AEW in-ring debut this evening on Dark. He looked very good for a first-time outing. He's got a great presence. His facial features and facial mannerisms are very good for however along he is. He's a scary motherfucker, I'll tell you that, man. If you're in the ring with him, he is going to be a dominating figure. If he keeps at this, he's going to be a dominating figure. I know I don't want to mention it. I know it was talked about even before when he signed with WWE as part of the NIL program, which in itself is a fucking disaster. I'll talk about that tomorrow on OTS Extra. We'll be uploading tomorrow. I got some ridiculous news coming out of the tryouts at SummerSlam. But yes, he does remind you, especially this version. Now he's being himself, which is great. He does remind me a lot of Brock Lesnar. You know, he's got that dominating stature and figure, which is a great thing. Not many have that. And if he can work on that, he could be a very formidable, presence in the industry. Now, obviously, there's going to be work to be done. Work still needs to be done with him. He did say just very little on the microphone by Tony Schiavone interviewing him. He did give us the sound of his voice and his thoughts on tonight's match on Dark. Obviously, we're going to need to work on the promo thing, but that's going to come in time. But if I'm Tony Khan, they're doing something with this group. Ari Daivari, which is another great pickup for AEW, and DJ Slim, I believe his name is. I think that's his name. DJ, I don't know who the fuck he is. I don't know where he came from. He looks ridiculous. He looks like trailer trash to me. I don't know who the fuck he is or where he came from, but so be it. This is a faction called the Trustbusters. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm putting them all on Ring of Honor. I'm getting them ready and primed for Ring of Honor. That's what I'm doing. I honestly think that would be the perfect platform for the Trustbusters. I think that would be the perfect platform for Ari Daivari. I think that would be the perfect platform for Parker Boudreaux. Ring of Honor. I would not immediately... Dynamite and AEW in itself is so fucking stacked. People are already complaining about the lack of television to Slim J. DJ Slim. Whatever the fuck his name. Slim J. Jesus fucking Christ. These names. Slim J. Who are you going to call Slim J? I would put them on Ring of Honor. People are already complaining about lack of TV time for Dynamite and AEW. You're not going to put these guys on Dynamite. You'd never see them. I would get them ready specifically for Ring of Honor. Trios champions, maybe. Let's get their feet wet on Ring of Honor. So, I enjoyed what I saw today. It was very quick, but he did manage himself to look very, very good in his in-ring outing. Obviously, there's still a lot to be done. But I said this to myself, and I'm watching this. he's not really signed to an AEW contract. I don't believe. I don't believe Tony Khan had signed him and picked him up exclusively to work with AEW or Ring of Honor. I was thinking this to myself. You know how Triple H is trying to rectify everything that was kind of taken from him, and he's trying to kind of give you that feel of what once was when he was there. He brought back Dakota Kai. He brought back Io Shirai. He's obviously talked to Sasha Banks and Naomi about coming back. Who's to say that Triple H wasn't high and big on Parker Boudreaux? Who's to say Triple H, and you know Triple H is scouting talent. You know Triple H is scouting talent, and they're going to be scouting independent professional wrestlers after the report that came out about the tryouts at SummerSlam and the NIL program being a complete fucking disaster with injuries upon injuries upon injuries happening at the tryouts. It was a disaster, they said. Who's to say Triple H is not watching Dark and scouting talent? Who's to say Triple H is not watching Parker Boudreaux and saying, what the fuck did they do? What were they thinking getting rid of him? We can't work with him. The one thing I was asking myself, he wasn't like, oh my God, I got to go watch him. But it was great to see him still do this. More times than not, when you get fired from WWE and they treat you like shit like that, your passion for what this is, it may go out the fucking window. You don't know. We didn't know what the fuck he wanted to do. We didn't know if he wanted to still continue to pro wrestle. But now he's on Dark. Who's to say Triple H isn't watching Dark and saying, Jesus fucking Christ, how didn't we keep this guy here, and how didn't we see anything in him? And that's the one thing I was thinking about. I'm watching this guy, I'm like, how the fuck don't they see anything in him to work with him? It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me. So he made his debut tonight, and listen, man, I wish him nothing but the best. I do. He's got that stature to him. And he's got that look that that there's fucking potential in that and it's just ready to break out. Give him time to fucking mature and grow, and you're going to have something there. And I think after all the fucking years I do this, I have a nature in me, or this ability in me to find talent, pick talent, and know when someone's good. How many times I've been to the House of Glory School, when I do show up there and I see the kids wrestling, I'm like, oh, he's going to be good. She's going to be good. I like that aspect. I love that aspect of it. I think it's great. So we'll see what happens with him. I wish him nothing but the best. The other thing I want to talk about is the Monday Night Raw ratings. I usually don't talk about the ratings. I've stopped talking about the ratings on off the script because I find them to be just a waste. Nobody gives a shit about the ratings. We don't care about the ratings. I just want the show to be good. I don't give a fuck what the ratings are. If it draws a 1 or a fucking 1.5, I don't care. Just give me a good show. You don't watch it, that's your fucking problem. I'm here to tell you that you should be watching it or you need to watch it. Raw draws the highest total viewership since 2020. The Triple H effect is in full effect. And what did I read to you 2 weeks ago? I got an email from an off-the-script VIP claiming to me that he didn't watch WWE because of who was running the previous administration. And they were waiting to watch the fucking show again when he was gone. And when they saw it was safe to come out and watch again and saw Triple H in charge, then they came out and watched the show. And you know what? Triple H gave us the best Monday Night Raw possibly of the entire year. A show that made sense, a show that had continuity, a show that was focused, a show that did not insult your intelligence. Houston, I'm going to need you to wake up. I still hear your silence. Monday Night Raw drew a 2.23 million viewership on the USA Network, up from 1.901. The 18 to 49 demo came in at number 1 for the night on cable at 0.61, up from a 0.50. Triple H had complete creative control on this show. The show from Madison Square Garden was a show already written by Vince McMahon, and Triple H did what he could to subtly change, give you a nice little fucking crumb of change from Madison Square Garden, but he had nothing to do with the direction of the show. Last night was all Triple H in complete control. It was the Fallout edition from SummerSlam that obviously had a lot to do with it because a lot of people were excited about coming out of SummerSlam. but they also know that Triple H is in charge. And that had a lot to do with it as well. Raw's key demo was the highest since WrestleMania 38, while the total viewership was the highest since March 16, 2020. That was the first Raw without an audience due to COVID-19. The 18 to 49 demo saw 0.65 in hour 1, 0.62 in hour 2, and 0.56 in hour 3. The show obviously dipped in the third hour. That third hour's got to go. I wish they would get rid of it and burn it forever, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And like I said, Monday Night Raw is ranked number 1 in the top 150 shows on cable for the night. Change. Now, the thing is, and I'm going to say this, I said this when Vince McMahon was in charge, and everybody was like, oh, look, Monday Night Raw's on an upswing. No, you fucking idiot. It's not on an upswing. It's a one-time deal. Triple H went in there, he stepped into the batter's box, and boom! Knocked a home run out of the park in his first at-bat. Good! We expected him to. He did it for the last 7 years in NXT before they fucking killed the black and gold. So if there's anybody I trust, it's not Vince McMahon, it's Triple H. That's the guy I trust. So I'm not surprised he went into the batter's box and hit a home run last night on Monday Night Raw. Now we're going to see if he can get back into the batter's box for that second at-bat and hit another home run. I'm not fully expecting him to hit a home run, but if he hits a home run, I'll fucking let you know. I'll take a double or a triple. We're not expecting Triple H to strike out. It's going to be a string of Raws where we look at and we see, all right, now we're seeing what he's capable of. For all we know, this was just interest coming out of SummerSlam because Brock Lesnar lifted the fucking ring with a goddamn crane or a tractor. And everybody was excited coming out of SummerSlam. Oh, look, Bayley's back. Oh, look, Io Shirai's up on the main roster. Oh, look, they brought back Dakota Kai. I don't know who she is, but I want to see what she's about. Becky Lynch and Bianca having a good match. Roman and Lesnar. Ronda Rousey going heel, Becky going babyface. There was a lot to talk about coming out of that show. So obviously, the buzz from SummerSlam bled into Monday Night Raw. And it's going to bleed into SmackDown. But next week's Raw is the Raw that you're going to want to pay attention to. And that's the rating you're going to want to pay attention to. And that's the demographic you're going to want to pay attention to. Not only next week's Raw, the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. Going into Clash. We can't gauge anything off this one Raw. This one Raw was great. It was a great show. I had people that don't watch the fucking show that continue to ask me every week, JD, why do you watch the show? Because I was hoping for something like last night to happen. And if I didn't watch it, I wouldn't be there to see all the fun. That's why I watched. I watched because I knew one day our fucking hopes would come true. And last night was a good show, but I'm a WWE cocksucker now. I'm getting the paycheck from Papa H. I'm getting paychecks from Papa H. I'm getting paychecks from House of Glory. I'm getting paychecks from fucking Tony Khan. Jesus fucking Christ, I got so much money, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll fucking go buy Jesse a real taco truck. Maybe I'll go buy myself a new Mustang. Maybe it'll be manual this time, being that everybody complains I drive a fucking automatic. Go fuck yourself. Unbelievable. Which one am I? It was a good show. You won 3 weeks ago, Monday Night Raw? Go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. I'll take whatever Triple H is serving up. More of it, please. Seriously. The Triple H effect is in full effect. And if you're not here, I'm going to have to ask you to get the fuck out. How many times, how many weeks did I tell you exactly what was going on? How many? None of you said I was right. I sat here every single week with a fucking smile on my face telling you I was right about everything. What you watched was utter garbage. Now that we got a good Monday Night Raw on Monday, now you want to claim I'm a WWE cocksucker? Your narrative needs to change, man. Your narrative severely needs to change. That's not going to work here anymore. That's not going to work here anymore. Oh my God, JD's going to be positive. I don't know if I could watch him anymore. Get out! Get out! I don't want you here. I waited for this day for 8 fucking years. And I'm going to relish every single fucking day that man sits behind Gorilla and writes Raw and SmackDown. Why? Because it's not Vince McMahon. Good. Good. Now the work. Now the work can begin. You ain't gonna rain on my fucking parade, motherfucker. Who the fuck else do you want in there? This is the guy that gave you 8 years of NXT and didn't miss. I don't know if there was a show that was under a 7 out of 10 when he was in charge of NXT. I'll take that over the usual ones that we were getting on Monday night while Bruce was in charge. He didn't miss. He knew he didn't miss. How many takeovers did you watch wanting more? How many takeovers did you watch and said, oh, yeah, that was a bad show? None of them. None of them. Get used to it. Get used to it. Your story's got to change now, man. You can't be using the same fucking stories, just twisted a little bit. I can't be a cocksucker for WWE and Papa H, and I can't be a cocksucker for Tony Khan. You're going to have to pick one. You're going to have to pick one. All it shows me is that I was right, and you fucking refuse to give me any fucking praise or claim that I was right because it would hurt your ego. I'm sorry. This is why I do it professionally, and you sit there and listen to me while you have a box of fucking tissues on your nightstand ready to jerk off to Nikita Lyons' Instagram. Fuck off. Get the fuck out. Don't even want you here. Business is about to pick up. The channel's fucking better than ever. The fucking numbers on the channel have been the best they've ever been because of Triple H in charge. Everybody has listened to me for 8 years speak about this, and now you want me to be negative? Now you want me to be negative? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can't make this shit up. Moving on. Now that that's out of my system, let's talk about NXT. Got commercial-free Women's Tag Team Championship match, Fatal 4-Way. We got Katana Chance and Kayden Carter against Toxic Attraction. This is Gigi Dolan. Somewhere Tony Brown is smiling from ear to ear. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. And Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley in a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. This is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. You know, NXT dumped the Women's Tag Team, or Cora Jade rather, or Bruce when he was still in charge there, dumped the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Women's Tag Team Championships in a trash can. And that's exactly what they thought of Women's Tag Team Wrestling. Now, I know that it's not going to happen. But I want a fantasy book here, just like we talked about on Monday Night Raw. We did a little fantasy booking on Monday Night Raw. We talked about Johnny Gargano coming back. We talked about possible war games being set up between the factions of ladies on Monday Night Raw. I mean, one could dream. It is Triple H. You know he wants to change Survivor Series. We talked about all that. We talked about Angelo Dawkins turning heel on Montez Ford. There was a lot of great shit coming out of that podcast last night. I say, if you missed it, go check it out. And I'm going to fantasy book here. I don't really understand why we need NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I don't understand it. Now, if WWE wants to keep these two Tag Team Championships, I would say maybe it would be in their best interest to merge the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships and the main roster Women's Tag Team Championships. Because you know, with what we've seen so far and these factions of ladies and Sasha and Naomi on their way back and Triple H in charge, it looks like we may end up getting the Women's Tag Team Championships back in the fold in the women's division. If they don't merge the tag team titles and unify them, I would say, let's get rid of the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships and keep the main roster Women's Tag Team Championships. And let's go back and do what should have been done from the beginning. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go out there and fucking, put that ball in the hoop and deliver a nice layup. I think Triple H created the women's tag team titles in NXT because Vince McMahon didn't want the main roster titles to go down to NXT because he didn't want anything main roster affiliated with NXT. He didn't want that. He didn't want main roster women or main roster stars on Triple H's NXT program. He didn't want it. So Triple H said, you know what, I'm just going to create my own fucking titles and we're going to make our own tag team division down here. Fuck the main roster women's tag team titles. That, to me, is one of the primary reasons why the titles were created in the first place. They never did anything with them. Nothing. They were always something that never really struck me as needed. So I'd say, let's get rid of the NXT women's tag team titles and make the main roster women's titles the one tag team titles that the entire women's landscape in WWE goes after. Now, if you have one set of titles, you have a couple of teams in the main roster that you could use. You got teams on NXT that you could use. It would be a great way for main roster talent to go to NXT and give that show a little bit of a needed boost. It would be a great way to put NXT talent on Monday night and Friday night and get those names and get those stars in front of a main roster audience and let them go in the ring and let them wrestle and showcase what they can on the big stage. There's just so much upside to it. I don't really see the need for two women's tag team championships. We're only going to go right back to the same boat. Now, I could be in the wrong. You guys may think differently about that, but I don't feel the need for two women's tag team championships. I don't feel the need for two women's singles championships on the main roster. I don't feel the need for two tag team championships or two world titles on the main roster. End the brand split. Just end it. I know that's not going to happen. I'm speaking to the fucking wall, but I just wish they'd revert back to a day and age when it was just simple. Simple. Now, if anybody's going to make the draft and the brand split right, it's going to be Triple H. So if he wants to adhere to the brand split, then I'm all for it. But don't do what Vince did. Don't do what Bruce did. They made it irrelevant. So come Survivor Series, there's not going to be any brand warfare. We've been seeing brand warfare. We've been seeing Raw on SmackDown and SmackDown on Raw all year, and it meant nothing. Not a single peep from commentary about why this one's on Friday and why this one from Friday is on Monday. Nothing. I just don't feel the need. Now, the match itself here wasn't anything all that special. I said it on Twitter. If Kayden Carter and Katana Chance are not winning this match, this is a waste of my time. I don't really understand why you'd give the titles back to Toxic Attraction. I don't really see why you'd give the titles to an unknown team like Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. And I don't know why you'd give the titles to Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. Nobody even knows. They're not even a fucking team. There was only one winner here and one winner only, and that was Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, and that is what happened. But I'll tell you who stood out to me the most in this match. It was Valentina Feroz and Yulisa Leon. They look like a tag team. They work like a tag team. They did not miss their spots tonight. They look good in everything that they did. Those are two ladies that I want you guys to keep an eye on. If they give them any sort of direction, any sort of character, any sort of attitude, those are two ladies that you're going to keep an eye on, or you're going to need to keep an eye on. Seriously. I think they looked great tonight. And the last time we saw them in the ring, they looked great too. It's a shame that they're not getting more TV time. So keep an eye on those two ladies. They were eliminated first. They got a nice little time to shine with some dives and some double team moves. They executed a double team combo where they combined a vertical suplex and a high cross body. That got them in near fall. They were eliminated by Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. So Nile made a blind tag, lands a couple of punches in the midsection, and Nile scores a pinfall to eliminate Leon and Feroz, and they were gone. So Ivy Nile, she's got a lot of upside as well. She's tiny and she's fierce, which is great. And they were the next team to get eliminated here. So Nile made the blind tag, like I said. Nile's in there, especially when she was throwing those kicks and punches. And she's got a lot of that background in martial arts. Paxley is battling against Carter and Chance right now. JC Jane makes a blind tag. Carter is unaware that JC Jane is legal as Carter gives Paxley a nice little combination of moves. Carter dropped her with a Death Valley driver, transitions into a leg drop. Jane is legal still. She nails Carter with a kick. Jane steals a pinfall on Tatum Paxley. Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley are out of there. So now we have the two teams, the two veteran teams in there. We got Toxic Attraction, Kayden Carter, and Katana Chance. So this is a callback to a previous match where Carter and Chance lost, but this was their opportunity to get the victory over Toxic Attraction. Chance and Carter execute their double-team finisher on Jane, where Carter gives her a neck breaker just before Chance leaps off the top rope with a 450 splash. Chance covers Jane, and they are the new tag team champions. They went into the crowd. They were celebrating. The crowd went crazy. Everybody loves them. And they were the right ladies to win the tag team championships. What happens next? I don't know. Where they go from here, I don't know. There really isn't any other team right now that is stable enough to be a team to go up against those two who are over as baby faces. We got Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. They're not really a tag team. I know Tatum Paxley is kind of in there with Diamond Mine, but I don't really consider them a tag team. We got Valentina Feroz and Yulisa Leon. They looked great tonight. We're going to need to see more of them before we make them into some serious contenders for the tag team championship. Other than that, there really isn't anybody else. Toxic Attraction, I think that ship has sailed. They've held the championships twice. What else can we do with Toxic Attraction as tag team champions? Nothing. This is why I said I think they're due for a call-up to the main roster. Where they go, I don't know. Monday Night Raw is loaded, even with Becky Lynch out with the shoulder injury. Maybe they go to SmackDown, and maybe they add depth to SmackDown. So we'll see what happens there. But Chance and Carter, tag team champions, that is the absolute right decision. Moving on. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs with Fallon Henley. Joe Gacy and his dyad, what are they called? The Schism? They interrupted this promo here between these smoking gun wannabes. Joe Gacy showed up with his two guys there, Rip Fowler and the other guy, I forgot his name. Grizzled young veterans. What the fuck did they do to them? What did they do to Zach Gibson? Holy shit. The fuck did they do, man? They had this guy shave his entire beard. You know, normally, if I shaved my goatee, if I shaved myself, I'd look 10 years younger. He looks absolutely ridiculous without the facial hair. Absolutely not the same person. He sounds the same, I hear him, but he doesn't look the same at all. So Joe Gacy's there. He tried to offer a space for Fallon Henley because he feels that she's lost. So am I. Can you help me, Gacy? Can you help me on Tuesday nights? I feel lost watching NXT. I can't find my way. Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, they were in the ring. We got an open challenge from Carmelo Hayes tonight. Williams said tonight was a celebration for Carmelo Hayes because it is legitimately his birthday. Hayes says this was an open challenge for whoever entered the ring, and if they want to step up, I'm giving them a shot at the North American title. All of a sudden, we got Giovanni Vinci coming out. One of my favorites on the entire brand. He was in the aisleway posing for the camera. All of a sudden, Nathan Frazier runs down the aisle while Vinci was doing his posing entrance. They snapped the photo of Vinci smiling for the camera. In the shot was Nathan Frazier speeding, and they got a glimpse of him in the picture. He ran into the ring, and the bell rang. So we got Nathan Frazier versus Carmelo Hayes in a North American Championship match, even though Vinci wanted to go out there and be the guy to answer the open challenge. Can we have the original match back? Maybe we'll run this one back at the next premium live event. I think that would be great. That may be a match of the year candidate for all the entire WWE if they put those two guys in the ring. I think that'd be awesome. So we got Frazier and Hayes here. Frazier looked good. He always looks good. He's very solid in the ring. Hayes, he's always good as well. So, in the ring, Hayes and Frazier kept up this quick pace. They didn't really slow it down until they developed into the middle of the match. The pacing settles a little bit, and then it picks up again. Lots of flying here, lots of high-flying offense, lots of springboards, lots of fast-paced action here. Frazier sails through the ropes, connects with a tope suicida. He does a dive onto Hayes, causing Hayes to hit the announce desk. And we get this chain reaction. Frazier flying through the ropes, hitting Hayes. Hayes flies over the announce desk and knocks whatever beverage was on the table, knocks the beverage into Vinci's lap. Vinci is soaking wet from this cold beverage that was on the desk. So he got upset. He's angry at this point as Vinci. Vinci shoves Frazier off the top rope as he was going for a big high-risk move, and Frazier takes a bump in the ring. Frazier takes a guillotine leg drop from Hayes, which he calls nothing but net. And then Hayes gets the 1, 2, 3 and retains the North American Championship. Very good match here. Very good match. Two of NXT's best in Frazier and Hayes. I'm very much looking forward to Vinci getting that title shot. Maybe we get it at the next Premium Live event, which apparently is taking place on the day of All Out. I don't know why they're doing that. I think that is a murder time slot for them. But we'll see what happens. Maybe Triple H has got something up his sleeve. I don't know. But Carmelo Hayes retains the title here in an open challenge. It was foolish of me to think that it would be anybody else or as a surprise. But we got Nathan Frazier, and it was a decent match for the North American title. Next up, we got Bron Breakker. We got Bron Breakker and JD McDonagh, the Irish Ace. Might as well call me the New York Ace. I'm going to start branding myself with that nickname, being that this is the fake J, the Irish JD over here. Wade Barrett's moderating this Breakker JD Summit. Now, call me cocky, call me conceited, call me a prick, but I find it weirdly entertaining, bizarrely entertaining, that Wade Barrett is using the initials JD and talking to McDonough while only using the initials JD. JD, how do you feel about this? Or JD, please sign this contract for the Heatwave NXT World Title match. Makes me think that people in the crowd are thinking about me. Maybe you are. How many of those fucking geeks at the performance and have me blocked because, JD hates NXT? He's negative. You aren't the same people that watch Black and Gold, believe me. I don't even want you here. Get out. We got Wade Barrett moderating this thing. McDonough said he didn't want to talk about the past, his attack last week. But he's here now. So he says he sees the fire in Bron Breakker and he just wants to stomp it out of him. He said he looks at Braun and sees a roadmap for the damage he can do. He said he was going to take the muscles he was so proud of and rip them from his body, rip them off the bone, he said. What type of gimmick is JD McDonagh? What type of gimmick is JD McDonagh, man? He's really talking big. He's talking tough for somebody that's what? What is he, 5'5"? The Irish Ace, right? What type of gimmick is he? I don't even know what type of gimmick he is. I thought he was this fucking pretty boy prep who drives fancy cars down the fucking mountainside of some fucking, some small town off the mountains of Greece. Who is he? What does he do? And why should I care? JD McDonagh is just like his old gimmick. We didn't really get his old gimmick either. Jordan Devlin, who was he? All he was a Finn Balor wannabe. Now he's trying to reinvent himself with this new gimmick and this new name, and I still don't know what the fuck he is. I just wish I had an inkling of why I should care about this guy. This guy's been on the show 3 weeks. I don't feel any emotional attachment to him. I know how good of a wrestler he is. I just don't feel an emotional attachment to JD McDonagh. So, he's talking about ripping the muscle off the bone. He said at Heatwave, when he shrieks in agony, Alicia will announce him as the new NXT World Champion. Breakker said McDonough had an impressive reign in NXT UK, and with respect to his previous challengers, McDonough might be the smartest person he's ever faced. He said everyone has a plan, though, until he takes them apart. He says he's glad McDonough likes pain so much because he's going to be in a lot of it. Barrett then invited JD to sign the contract first. McDonough said, no, I'm not going to do that. I think I saw fear in Bron Breakker. And he says he didn't have the heart to sign the contract against him. McDonough said this summit wouldn't end in violence, but to show him how serious he was, listen, give me the contract. It's going to end in blood. So he takes the pen and he stabs his finger and he signs the contract. He signs JD in blood. And then he hands it over to Bron Breakker. McDonough cut off his finger, signed it in blood, tried to shake Breakker's hand. He was shaken. And Breakker just held up the championship title as this Heatwave Summit came to a close. I don't know, man. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You let me know what you think of everything going on here. I get a sense that the people in that performance center don't really give a single shit about JD McDonagh and what he's selling on Tuesday night. I don't think the fans care. I really don't. I honestly don't even feel that emotional attachment to Bron Breakker. You know, you're going to have to sell me big on Bron Breakker. I had animosity towards Bron Breakker, and it was not deserved because they put him in a spot. And it was because Vince and Bruce took over NXT. He was the chosen one. And we had to get used to him, and he was theoretically shoved down our throat. We grew to appreciate him. We grew to see the potential there, which was fine. But now I sit here and I don't really feel that emotional attachment to Bron Breakker, and I don't know what we can do to rectify it. I honestly feel like he's overstayed his welcome in NXT. I don't believe he should be NXT champion right now. JD McDonagh and Bron Breakker is a fail. It's not going to enhance either guy. It's going to be a very lukewarm match. It's going to be a very indifferent crowd watching these two guys because nobody can invest themselves in JD McDonagh, and WWE doesn't even see it. The people booking this show don't even see it. You think the fans are stupid? You chose this guy, repackaged him, put him on Tuesday night, and without even doing anything, you're giving him a world title match. That's not the way you build somebody up as a credible guy. That's only going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths. He did nothing to deserve or earn this championship match. And the one who suffers is not JD McDonagh. The one who suffers is Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker had to go through half-assed booking for the entire year. You had him beat Ciampa, and everything was going right. Then you had him lose the title to Dolph Ziggler because you were so desperate for ratings on Tuesday night. You felt like Dolph Ziggler would bring some presence to the show. You felt like Ziggler would inject some adrenaline or some interest in the show. And it did not. It did nothing. What you did was stifle Bron Breakker's growth. He lost to Dolph Ziggler. Meanwhile, the story was him beating Ciampa. The story was him finally ending the black and gold, unfortunately. And this is the new era, the new 2.0. But then you had Ziggler come in and beat the young guy, and then that stifled his momentum. Breakker didn't look any better for beating Ziggler. He looked good for beating Ciampa. He didn't look any better at all. He probably looked worse for beating Ziggler. Everybody thought, oh, Dolph Ziggler's the veteran guy. If he lays down for Bron Breakker, Bron Breakker's going to be over. It didn't work that way. It actually worked in reverse. It was counterproductive. Then you put him in a feud with Joe Gacy, who's nothing more than a wannabe fucking eater of worlds Bray Wyatt. This is like Walmart great value Bray Wyatt on Tuesday night. They gave him 2 henchmen in the grizzled young veterans, in James Drake and Zach Gibson. And it's not coming off interesting at all. It's coming off more hokey and cringe than anything. We got druids, and we got fucking Bron Breakker being smothered by druids, and Bron Breakker fucking searching for his father inside the Performance Center because Joe Gacy put him in a fucking cage, burning his Hall of Fame ring. Bron Breakker looked like a weak geek. He looked like a fool. The rough and tough Bron Breakker, son of Rick Steiner, was made to look like a chump. And now you want me to care about him, and you make the same mistake for a third time. You put him in the ring with JD McDonagh that nobody knows. He's got no momentum for himself. Nobody knows how good of a heel he can be. You're just throwing him in there with a title match. He hasn't had a fucking match on the show. He beats Bron Breakker, and Bron Breakker gets called up, and we got JD McDonagh as the world champion, or JD McDonagh loses his first match against Bron Breakker and loses this title match, and then he's an even bigger loser than the fans already think of him already right now. You ain't winning here. There's nothing here that's going to save any of this. Bron Breakker should have been called up after WrestleMania, but yet he's still here, feuding with the Dyad and Schism and Gacy and winning the title back from Ziggler on the Raw after Mania, and now he's feuding with somebody that nobody gives a fuck about. There's no doubt in my mind that he's the Irish Ace, but he's not the ace at the Performance Center. He's not the ace of Tuesday night. Nobody knows what the fuck he is. He ain't no fucking ace. He got dealt a pair of deuces. That's JD. That's JD McDonagh. He got dealt a pair of deuces. He ain't no fucking ace. The pair of deuces that he was dealt is from NXT Creative. What a shit show. I'm not looking forward to this match at all. Apollo Crews, he ran across the Creed brothers backstage. They exchange, I guess, pleasant introductions to each other. And Crews told the guys to keep their eyes open. Brutus wanted to know what he meant by that, and Crews just reiterated and said he'd be watching. I guess this is his ability to see the future, and maybe something's happening to the Creed brothers along the way. Maybe he's got a fucking magic 8-ball, and Apollo Crews can see the future. I don't know. Damon Kemp showed up and told the Creeds that Roderick Strong was running late, but he'd be out there for their match. He was never out there for their match. The Diamond Mine turmoil continues, and Roderick Strong remains unhappy in NXT. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Toxic Attraction as they threw a fit after their loss. Mandy Rose said it was the worst time for Mitchell to show up. Vic said not to miss a second of the action. And we go to a Sarray picture-in-picture. And the reason why I mention this, don't miss any of the action. They gave you a picture-in-picture of Sarray's entrance. I don't know why. What was the split screen? You want to show me a split screen commercial of whatever the fuck I gotta watch, and then you want the other half to be Sarray's entrance? She walks out wearing this anime schoolgirl outfit. She looks at this medallion she has. She walks through the tunnel, and then all of a sudden she comes out in her ring gear. That was the split screen commercial break. This gimmick is ridiculous. There's nothing interesting about Sarray whatsoever. We got Sarray and Mandy Rose. As soon as we come back from commercial, we go back to full screen. The match is already underway. Rose rolled up Sarray for a quick 2 count off of a pinning combination. Sarray floated over for a roll-up of her own. She flew in with a drop kick and tried to get the crowd behind her, which they weren't really having anything of. They felt very indifferent here to this match as well. Because, again, I ask, who is Sarray? And why should I care? Rose leaned in on Sarray in the corner. Went for another cover. Roll up by Sarray. Trading pinfalls back and forth here. Rose slammed Sarray with a spine buster for a 2. She then went for Sarray's head and started pounding Sarray's head into the mat. Sarray got up. Went for a shotgun drop kick. She followed with a fisherman suplex. And Rose all of a sudden hit a rising knee strike, and that was it for the win. Mandy Rose wins in about 5 minutes in this non-title match against Sarray. So she continued to make threats when the match was over to Zoe Stark, because that's what we're getting at the Heatwave event in a couple of weeks. Rose brought a chair into the ring and lifted it up, and she was about to hit Sarray, and she did very weakly. And then she was about to Pillmanize Sarray, and then at that point, Zoe Stark ran in and charged to the ring and chased her off. Mandy Rose quickly grabbed her title, and that was pretty much it. Most of this match was done on the split screen, and we got 2 minutes of in-ring action. No reason why Mandy Rose was going to lose to Sarray when she has a World Championship match coming up against Zoe Stark. Waste of my time. Tiffany Stratton had a vignette, did a voiceover vignette as we saw shots of her practicing gymnastics, which is where she came from and what her background is. She talked about how everyone in NXT was obsessed with her, and she was obsessed with putting in the work and winning. She said it made her sick that she lost the Battle Royal, and she teased a Wendy Choo match in the future. Even though we had Tiffany Stratton beat Wendy Choo, we're going to do it again. I don't know why. This time Wendy Choo is saying that Tiffany Stratton is going to have a nightmare, or that she's having nightmares about Tiffany Stratton. She can't sleep peacefully with her orange juice. Now it's time to go shopping. She finished gymnastics and said it's time to go shopping. Great. Take me with you. Far away from this show. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed the plagiarism of Axiom, the plagiarist, Axiom, fresh off the pages of a comic book, is Axiom. He's a superhero, says NXT. He's a superhero, is Axiom, the mathematical superhero. Great. I failed math. I suck at math. And I got to listen to this fucking guy be called the mathematical superhero. Oh, my goodness. Wow, man. Wow, I hate math. Someone to get me invested in the fucking gimmick. He got to talk for about 3 seconds here through the mask. And all of a sudden, Duke Hudson showed up and said he was undersized and undeserving. Sounds like Bruce Pritchard wrote this promo. Hudson says, if you look at the two of them, it's night and day. Axiom says he wasn't afraid of Hudson. Hudson then ducked down and got to his size and started imitating him. Good for you, kid. Good for you. Look, we're the same size now. Slapped him in the face. The two brawled through the halls of the Performance Center and towards the ring. This brawl spilled to the ramp, and Hudson picked up Axiom, charged him into the apron. Hudson hit a tilt-a-whirl Uranagi. He started posing for the PC crowd. He grabbed a mic and said, that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't believe in your heroes. They'll always let you down. Hudson started up the ramp, and Axiom grabbed the mic. He said, things have changed, and he can prove it right now. So we got a match. Hudson charged at Axiom in the corner, clotheslined him from the ring, followed Axiom out of the ring. He beat on him on the outside, sent him back in the ring. Axiom got back into it with some kicks. He ran into a Hudson Uranage. Hudson threw some kicks, an elbow drop, and followed with a knee drop. So he's basically beating the shit out of this guy. The plagiarist, Axiom. Hudson went for his razor's edge, but Axiom reversed into a Rana into the corner, and the O'Connor roll, which looked sloppy, finished him off. Axiom, the plagiarist, got the victory over Duke Hudson in 2 minutes. Yes, 2 + 2 = 4. Pow! Zam! Whap! Fap! Kablam! This is the extent of NXT creative. Plagiarism. Great job there, Sean. HBK. Nice job there, bro. Maybe Road Dogg should really come back. Maybe they should really hire Road Dogg back to NXT. He's out here begging TK for a job. He's already made a fool out of himself. Let's get him back to NXT, where he can make less of a fool of himself. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Wesley. He said what irks him is Trick Williams thinking he's the second coming of Muhammad Ali. He said Ali was a legend, but Trick is a legend in his own mind. He said they should do it like they do in the UK in a rounds match. He looked into the camera and then said, Trick, what is it gonna be? Can we get Nash Carter back in the fucking company and get MSK back together, please? What the fuck is a rounds match? Seriously. Jesse texted me. It seriously sounds like Triple H sent Bruce to run NXT 2.0 to run the bullshit that he created while he fixes the main roster first. I wouldn't be surprised. That's what it sounds. That's what it felt like to me. Seriously, that's what it feels like to me. Honestly. Jesse may be right. Jesse may be right. Anyway, can we get Nash Carter back in the WWE, please? And get him back with Wesley and get MSK on the main roster? What are we doing here? Like, Wesley is great, and I feel bad for him. I felt bad for him since this fucking incident happened. But we ain't doing nothing with him here. He's got great potential. He's really good in the ring. But you see that they're just fucking in the middle of nothing with this guy. Trick Williams in a rounds match. 6 3-minute rounds. That's what we got next week. That's what I would do. Bring Nash Carter back. Let bygones be bygones. Get MSK back together. Get them on the main roster. Creed brothers. This is Julius and Brutus Creed versus Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. Yes, that's his name. They cut out his regular name. Stacks is his name. NXT Tag Team title match. Remember the days of NXT Tag Team titles? Remember the fucking division that we got in the black and gold? We got the War Raiders. We got Black and Ricochet. We got FTR, the Revival. We got Street Profits. We had Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli. We had some decent fucking teams come out of NXT, man. Really. Some really great fucking teams. What happened here? Like, what happened? All those great tag teams. Look at what we got now. We got a makeshift tag team of Tony D and Stacks and the Creed brothers. Creed brothers are all right. They're nowhere where they have to be. But what happened to tag team wrestling down here? American Alpha, right? Remember that? Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, man. Oh, my God. AOP, The Ascension, the Grizzled Young Veterans, Mustache Mountain. What happened? What happened? This shit sucks. DIY. Keep naming them. Keep naming them. How many of these teams exist? How many of these teams exist now? The Vaudevillains. Great fucking tag team. Wasted. Enzo and Cass. Wasted. Like, what happened here? I love Tony D, man, but they're not. I don't know what the fuck. What are they doing with him? What are they doing with him? This match went 10 minutes. Not really that bad. I mean, it was just there. Can't say anything bad about it because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't exciting. Nothing about this was exciting. Stacks slams Brutus into the ring steps. He takes his hand and slams it into the ring steps. Brutus is selling his hand through this match. The heels are working him over. They work on the hand. The heels are targeting the injury. Brutus finally tags out, leading to Julius getting the hot tag. He cleans house here. Julius is running around. He's going wild on both Tony D and Stacks. D'Angelo fights back, causing a double down. Julius tries to tag out. Stacks keeps Brutus from tagging in by yanking Brutus off the ring apron. Brutus chases Stacks into the ring. Brutus takes him down. Meanwhile, Electro Lopez is out at ringside and passes D'Angelo a crowbar. So it looks like we got Electro Lopez trying to help Tony D behind the referee's back gain a cheap advantage and win the tag team titles. That's not what happened here. So the camera pans over. Tony D is trying to grab the crowbar. We all thought Electro Lopez handed him the crowbar. We see that Santos Escobar is on the other end of the crowbar. He takes the crowbar. He pulls in Tony D. Next thing you know, Tony D is getting shot in the mouth with a pair of brass knucks. And he got knocked out. Escobar pulled D'Angelo close. Pow! Right in the kisser. With the brass knuckles, D'Angelo takes a Death Valley driver sliding lariat, and Julius makes the cover on Tony D'Angelo over here. Let's go out for a glass of red wine and some chicken parmesan. Tony D over here. I'm buying. The fuck are they doing to you, bro? Pinfall here. Creeds get the win, and they retain the title. Legado del Fantasma leaves with Escobar. And the band is back together with Legado. Call him up. Let's call him up. There's no reason. After this Tony D match, there's no reason to keep them down here. Call him up. What are we doing? Every one of these guys. I don't know about Elektra Lopez. She's a little rough around the edges when she gets into the ring. Beautiful woman to look at. A little rough around the edges. Call him up. Let's get Legado feuding with the Mysterios. Let's get Santos feuding with Rey Mysterio. That's what I want to see. So it looks like we're getting Tony D versus Santos Escobar at the next pay-per-view, whenever that may be. So looks like that is on their list of things to do here. We got a vignette with Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne got a long sit-down piece here talking about the friendship with Cora Jade and going over how they made it into NXT and worked hard and how they were spending a lot of time together trying to get noticed. She said that they will settle this in 2 weeks, and she wants nothing to do with the friendship of Cora Jade anymore. And 2 weeks at Heatwave, she will be getting her revenge. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Cora Jade. She no-sold this Perez vignette. Cora Jade is coming along quite nicely as a heel. She sounds 1,000 times better as a heel. So she's selling this video package that we saw as trash. Roxanne is trash. That's according to Cora Jade, not me. Mandy Rose showed up and asked Jade if she wanted to do business. She asked Jade if she would attack Zoe Stark like she did last week to take her out and rid her from the women's division. Jade said it was typical Rose with an offer that only benefits her. Rose says if Perez is unable to do this, it's not a good look. So let me explain to you what's going on. You take out Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark is eliminated. Management will be forced to give the second in line, the runner-up in the Battle Royal, a shot to replace Zoe Stark against me for the NXT title, and that'll be you. So she's trying to manipulate Cora Jade into helping her out. She says, I'll think about it, little girl. Mandy Rose is the opposite of little girl. That line did not make any sense to me whatsoever. We got 1,400 in the venue. Can we try for 1,000 likes? Can we try for 1,000 likes? We got 1,400 plus in the venue, man. Super chats are open. Get them on in. Memberships are open. Always accepting applications to the VIP club, right? And make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I see 610 likes. Let's try for 1,000 minimum. I know you guys can do it. Have I not been entertaining? We got a Von Wagner hype package here. He says he's the street champ now. The VWO. Kind of growing on me, bro. Kind of growing on me. Brooks Jensen and Joe Gacy, one-on-one. They were out there with Rip Fowler, Jagger Reed in Joe Gacy's corner, and Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley in Brooks Jensen's corner. This went about 3 minutes. Really not much here. Gacy steals a pin after interference by Pretty Deadly. The Dyad stalked Henley at ringside during this match, causing Briggs to come out to her aid. As that happened, Pretty Deadly ran in, saw an opening. Jensen was able to stop their interference, but is distracted in the process. Pretty Deadly is sent out of the ring as Joe Gacy does a handspring into a lariat, and Gacy covers Jensen for a very weak and very unexciting victory over Brooks Jensen. Who cares? Are we building the dyad up against Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs for the tag team titles? I don't see how the grizzled young veterans weren't good enough to be the tag team champions, but now that they're with Joe Gacy and called the Schism or the Dyad or whatever the fuck they're calling them, now you want to make them a possible threat to the tag team division? Ass backwards is this company. There was nothing wrong with the grizzled young veterans. Absolutely nothing wrong. You took two guys that don't fit and don't sound like they should be with Joe Gacy and fired the one guy that does look like he could be with Joe Gacy. Unbelievable. Gacy, after the match, he looks into the handheld camera. He invited Cameron Grimes to join his cult, Schism. Grimes is seen watching backstage on a backstage monitor, and it looks like they're building towards Grimes and Gacy. Oh, joy. Here's another guy, Gacy. I talked about him earlier. Bargain basement Bray Wyatt. And then Cameron Grimes. It looks like they got nothing. He lost the North American title match. He lost the North American title. He lost the title match to Bron Breakker. What else is left for him to do? Yeah, we'll feud him with the one guy that nobody gives a shit about. Alba Fire. She's in there against trash legend. How this woman is still employed is fucking absolutely mind-boggling. I can get in there and sell better than trash legend. Fire wins after a gory bomb. Fire blocks a superplex. Legend takes a bump off the ropes. She then grabs Fire's baseball bat and used it as a weapon. She swings and misses just like she always does every time she's in the ring. Swings and misses with the bat. Eats a super kick from Fire. Gory bomb on trash legend. Up top, Swanton bomb. Fire gets the victory over trash legend. Again, how this woman is still employed, I don't know. This woman has shown absolutely no growth or no signs of getting better. None. What do they think they have in her? Do they think they have the next Naomi? Or the next Bianca? Oh my God, man. Back to the WNBA you go. Seriously. Not everybody's cut out to be a WWE superstar. Fuck out of here. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are leaving the building. They run into three attractive females just randomly stuck in the parking lot. Their car broke down in the parking lot of NXT. Quite the dangerous place to be, man. God knows what the fuck could have happened if Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams weren't out there. They're leaving the building. They run into these three women. Their car won't start. And they ask Trick Williams and Hayes to jump the car. So they go over there and help, and that's the way the segment comes to an end. Tony D'Angelo's in the locker room. He's upset and angry that Santos Escobar ruined his title match again. So Escobar again he prank calls D'Angelo on a cell phone. This leads to them calling each other and speaking over the phone and setting up a meeting at an unnamed location. This was a nice little skit here, back and forth. We heard the phone conversation. I like the interaction between Escobar and D'Angelo. I think they're great together. Should be a good match. Looks like Legado is going to be positioned as a babyface, while Tony D is going to be positioned as a heel. It should get some decent reaction if they do it at the pay-per-view. Nikita Lyons is in the back. She cuts a promo, and she responds to a threat from Kiana James, where she got all sassy and said she wasn't going to change to fit Kiana James's idea of what a woman should look like and act. Let me tell you something, honey. Nobody has a problem with the way you look. Nobody. Me, the chat, Instagram, social media, nobody. Don't change for nobody. So the match is coming next week. And I hope that it somewhat leads to both of these women getting enhanced. I like the look of Kiana James. I think there's something there. Maybe Nikita Lyons, you know how successful she's going to be. So we'll see what happens there. Solo Sikoa and Von Wagner in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This was the main event. This was easily the best thing on the show this evening. And by a country mile, was this the best thing on the show. So, we got Sikoa winning this match. And it was a brawl. It was a fight. It was fun. And while the match is beginning in the ring, the fight spills to the outside on the floor. Sikoa in control. Wagner shoves him into the ring steps. Wagner then puts a section of the steps into the ring. And that's going to be used at a later time in the match. So besides the steps, Wagner dumps some folding chairs into the ring. Sikoa feeds Wagner. And Wagner is pretty much smashing him in the back with the steel chairs. And Wagner builds up a bridge with the two chairs facing together. He slams Sikoa through the chairs. Looked great. So the fighting now is on the outside again. Sikoa gives Wagner a Samoan drop on the announce desk. The table doesn't break. And the table will break later on in the match. So they brawl away from the ringside area. They fight their way out of the soundstage. And they go outside the building. The fight continues into the parking lot. Sikoa runs into Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, who are in the Corvette with the three ladies from before. Sikoa shoves Hayes into the backseat of the Corvette, and they get into it a little bit. Sikoa is now fighting Wagner in the parking lot towards a dumpster, and they are fighting next to Monday Night Raw, and Wagner throws Sikoa into the dumpster. So Sikoa gets out, and they fight on, and Cameron Grimes is exiting the building when Wagner pushed Sikoa back into the building and into Grimes. All three tumble back inside the building. Wagner gives Sikoa a sidewalk slam through a table in the back that looked like a little mini catering area. Wagner is blinded at one point by a fire extinguisher. They get back into the ring. Sikoa is firing up. He is paying Wagner back with some chair shots from before. Wagner, earlier in the match, put, like I said, the steel chair and the steel steps into the ring. So all of this is going to backfire because Sikoa, Uranagade, Wagner on the steps, goes to go pin him and only gets a near fall. So Sikoa climbs the turnbuckles and Robert Stone grabs Sikoa's foot to block him from doing the big Superfly splash. Sikoa headbutts Stone. Stone falls out of the ring. This interference distracted Sikoa enough for Wagner to get the advantage. Sikoa counters Wagner, posts him onto the turnbuckle. Wagner eats a few super kicks. He falls back onto the announce desk on the outside. They're now on the outside. Sikoa climbs the turnbuckles. He leaps off with a Superfly splash. It looked like he didn't get all of it. It looked more like a headbutt than a splash. He goes through the table. He goes through Von Wagner. He gets the 1, 2, 3. And that was it for Solo Sikoa to get the victory over Von Wagner. Sikoa put the lotion in the basket for Von Wagner. And that was the way NXT went off the air. You know, Jesse just said that he feels like Triple H sent Bruce down to NXT to continue running the show. And he's trying to get the main roster up and running the way he needs to. And then he's going to focus on NXT. What I feel is going to happen, and this is just a prediction. This is just a prediction. I feel like we're going to get a draft in October. I feel like Triple H is going to run Raw and SmackDown at least for the next couple of months. I don't think Triple H is going to run the main roster, talent relations, and main roster creative for Raw and SmackDown. Seems like a lot of work. I don't want him to get burned out. I feel like Triple H is going to take over the flagship show, and that is Monday Night Raw. I feel like or maybe it's SmackDown, being that it's on Fox. I feel like Triple H may take over SmackDown. And I think Triple H may, or Stephanie McMahon, whoever makes the decisions there, is going to appoint Paul Heyman in charge of Monday Night Raw like it was, or like he was during the pandemic. I feel like we'll eventually end up with Paul Heyman running Raw and Triple H running SmackDown. I could be off. But meanwhile, right now, while Triple H is doing both, because he can't do all three, it would be humanly impossible. Maybe Jesse is right, and maybe Bruce Pritchard is running NXT, because it doesn't feel different at all. It feels largely the same. It does. Nothing about this show is changed. The dialogue, the visuals, the sound of the show. Vic Joseph is just, I'm sure he's a pleasant guy, and I'm sure he's super nice. His voice does not fit this show. It does not. Wade Barrett is fine, but Vic Joseph's voice never fit this show. Ever. This is why I was upset when they fired, what's his name? Tom Phillips. This is why I was upset when they fired Tom Phillips. Now, I don't know why they let him go. He's doing a great job on Impact. He always had a good voice. I felt like he was a great commentator. But it largely feels nothing, absolutely nothing has changed about this show. So Bruce still may be running this show. Because if Triple H was, and Triple H wanted to change, we would have seen it already. Because there's no way Triple H thinks this show is good. If I'm a betting man, I'm betting on the fact that Triple H thinks this show is complete dog shit. And it is. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing keeping you watching. There's nothing wanting you to fucking say, hey, man, I can't wait for next week. Every week, NXT on the WWE Network in 1 hour. I was telling everybody, I can't wait till next week. Told everybody. It feels like Bruce is still running NXT. Yes. This show sucked tonight. Sikoa stood out. Von Wagner had a good match with Sikoa. The ladies, Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, congratulations to them. I'm very happy that they won. They've been working their ass off in both administrations. And we got Nathan Frazier and Carmelo Hayes in a decent little match. That was it. That was it. Nothing really exciting on this show at all for NXT on this Tuesday night. I appreciate you guys joining me, man, live from the OTS Beer Garden. Hit that thumbs up. Can we get 750 likes minimum on tonight's post show? Super chats are open. Memberships are open. Get them on in. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY 206. That's Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And continue to get those super chats in, like I said, and hit that join button. Become a channel member right here on OTS. Go check out all the other videos that you might have missed, man. Monday Night Raw on Monday. Tremendous show. Episode 438 of the podcast live on Sunday night. And SummerSlam on Saturday, man. It was a busy week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, man. This will be 6 straight days of live streams, man. I don't sleep. Let's get to the super chats. Tony Brown with a $4.99 super chat. Electra and Mandy Mead with a $4.99 super chat. Yeah, man. We had Cora Jade on the show tonight. We had Gigi Dolan. Can't forget that. D Bastardo with a $2 super chat. Still watching NXT. Longest 2 hours in TV. Show sucks. Could not agree more, Bastardo. The Undertaker with a $5 super chat. Alter Bridge dropping another banger so hard I could feel it in the darkest parts of the underworld. Hashtag OTS for life. Yes, Silver Tongue is great. The chorus is fucking awesome. It's not the type of Alter Bridge song that I prefer. My style is more in line with Pawns and Kings, The Last Hero, Blackbird, Fortress. Those are my favorite Alter Bridge songs. Achilles, Cry of Achilles, or Cry for Achilles. Those are my jams. It's a good single with an excellent chorus. Javier Martinez with a $1.99 super chat. Legado, Alba Fire, and Sikoa are getting called up. I could see it. I could see it. Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. JD, check out the tweet I just sent you. What are you sending me, Joseph Taylor? Exactly what I'm saying. Triple H held NXT down for 7 years. 2018, 2019, and 2020 was the best 3 years he ever did. Then Vince decided to fuck it up because he wanted to destroy AEW and put it out of business. Nate Knight with a $2 super chat. Name your top 3 Mania matches for next year. Roman versus Cody. Ronda versus Becky. And Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle. DWA Dirty Dano with a $1.99 super chat. Harlan looked good on Dark, and JD from NY 206 is greater than the Irish JD. You know it, brother. You know it, man. Just call me the New York Ace. Jabril Mohammed with a $4.99 super chat. Vic Joseph's energy on commentary is terrible. It's almost like he doesn't want to be there. Oh! Is an immersive commentary? No. It's the Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon way of doing commentary. Brian with a $1.99 super chat. The little hobbitses with your regular voice. We may not be needing that anymore, Brian. Dennis H with a 23 in Canadian super chat. JD, do you ever sleep? No. No, I'll be up till about 3 a.m. playing Destiny. Jabril Mohammed with a $1.99 super chat. Also, what do you think of the band Parkway Drive? Bro, if you name yourself Parkway Drive, you're not the type of band that's gonna get my fucking ears at all. It just sounds like you write fucking music for 13-year-old fucking emo girls that want to wear Hot Topic paraphernalia. Tommy Brannigan on a $5 super chat. What do you got to tell me tonight, Tommy? JD, you were right. The show last night was awesome, and thank you for the job that you do. OTS for life. Thank you, Tommy. And the Braves won tonight, I'm assuming, right? The Mets lost and the Braves won. The Braves defeated the Phillies 13-1. The line score I like to see. Zachary R. Francis with a $5 super chat. Do you think we see Mauro Ranallo back in WWE with Triple H being the head of creative? No. Also, would you ever do a Dark Side of the Ring review? No. Now, Dark Side of the Ring is, at this point, canceled. WWE made sure of that. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. What's up, JD? What's up, Nation? NXT sucked tonight. Didn't expect the change for NXT overnight, though NXT needs to be back at 1 hour and back at Full Sail. Yes. Yes, NXT needs to be back at Full Sail. If not back at Full Sail, at least Full Sail for the premium live events. Just to give it a different feel. Ricardo Linnell with a 25-month membership. OTS is number one yet again. Acknowledge JD, the tribal chief of the IWC. NXT is utter garbage. Man, is the difference between Monday and Tuesday obvious? Yes. Furious Nation with a $10 super chat. I'm sorry. In your opinion, if Chad Gable is getting pushed in a singles role on Raw, do you think Triple H would bring Tucker back to put him with Otis and reunite Heavy Machinery? Also, SRS is greater than Bill Body. Billy got bodied. Billy got bodied big time. Billy's a pussy. I'm glad Sap stuck up for a lot of people that were fucking ridiculed and made fun of by this guy, using all the fucking dirtiest and harshest and derogatory language under the sun. Good. I know if I was there with my usual entourage at one of these shows, Billy would have been fucking dropped right then and there. Not by me. Not by me. I would have did exactly what SRS did. Get in his face. Punch me, bitch. Go ahead. You talk all this shit online. Go ahead. Punch me. I'd have one of my guys come from over my right shoulder and fucking knock this guy out. He'll be feeling like his head is in the UK and his body is still in fucking Nashville, Tennessee. Billy. Fuck out of here. Billy also faked media credentials to even get into StarCast. Quite the gentleman is Billy, who got bodied. Fuck off. Brian Edwards with a 11-month... Actually, Furious, I'd love to see Tucker back with Otis. If that's on the horizon for Otis, I'd love it. Brian Edwards with an 11-month super chat. Thank you so much for the recommitment, brother. I'm very disappointed in the Grizzly Young Veterans and what they've become. Me too, bro. And Furious Nation with the $10 super chat. With what Triple H did with Raw last night, which was a good show. I'm very curious what he does with SmackDown this Friday with their roster needing help. Who do you see going to SmackDown? I could see Legato. I could see Toxic Attraction. I could see Carmelo Hayes. I could. I think Triple H is going to fix SmackDown. I'm excited for Friday. I am. Anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here, man. I spent enough time on this fucking garbage. This Bruce-written fucking garbage. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love tonight, guys. Continue to hit that thumbs up. Continue to hit that subscribe button down below. I will see you tomorrow night live with Jesse for what looks to be a very good Dynamite. And we'll be back in the OTS Beer Garden. I need those guitar emojis in the chat, and I need that music on max. Thank you guys for a great night. I'll see you tomorrow night live with AEW Dynamite on OTS. I'll see you guys later.